Elgersma hanging out on Mayne Island with Charles Andre, and you're watching Go Island on Shaw TV. Whoa, there goes my beer. On today's show, we meet a puppet master who grew up with performance in his blood. Now, his blood oozes puppet magic. And Dan Kahn talks to a 71-year-old artist who's enjoying great success later in life. And we look into the online library world. All that and much more on Go Island.
Go Island is brought to you by German Auto Import Network.
Hello and welcome to Go Island. We have traveled to Mayne Island. Why? Because we are all about bringing the stories of the people, the places, the ideas and the things from the South Gulf Islands all the way up and down Vancouver Island. And I am so excited because I'm going to introduce you to one of Mayne Island's finest, Charles Andre, who you moved here in 95. And you know what's so interesting is when you come to a place like Mayne Island, getting to know some of the 1,200 residents that are here has just been, in the day and a half we've been here, has been so fun because everybody has a story and everybody has an experience from how this island has, you know, inspired them or helped them heal in your case. But let's begin so the viewer can get to know this Mayne Islander. What brought you here?
I was trying to recover from spinal surgery.
And what happened that you were your body got to the place that you needed spinal surgery?
Well, I was doing what's called a ratchet, which is when you get jerked violently backwards on a TV show called X-Files.
Because Charles was a professional stuntman for many, many years. So what happened and you ended up injuring your back?
We did 6 takes. I completely herniated my disc. I couldn't walk. And so they cut the disc out. And I was looking for a place on the ocean that I could rent to heal. And I found Mayne Island. There was no crowds, no lineups, no crime, and a place where you could just truly be peaceful. And I love the ocean. I'm a water child. So I was right next to the ocean. I rented on the ocean.
Now, Charles does everything on his property himself. He's built his home, his barn, and everything around here himself, as well as many things you built that aren't here anymore because they've been sold or bought. But let's begin with when you got this property and you had to start building your own home, you actually literally not only built it with your own hands, but from the timber on your property. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, when I found the property, I thought, yeah, this is the perfect place. And so I walked through the woods. It was all forest. And I had a glass of wine and I watched what the sun did, and I decided that this is where I'm going to build my house. So then I talked to people about milling up wood, and I got a friend who brought a mill to the property, and we milled up all the wood from my timber, and I got friends together and we built, first of all, my cabin, and then that turned into my house, and then we built my studio.
Now, you loved your job as a stuntman.
Oh, I loved my job, and I say that if you love your job, you'll never work a day in your life.
Do you miss it?
So much.
Aww.
Yeah. And because I'm addicted to adrenaline,
yeah,
I'm now building a zip line on the other side of my property.
He also has a climbing wall, which we are going to check out in just a moment. And he has a couple of other things. He has an axe to grind, and I'll explain what that means, but you're gonna have to wait. And you know, so many amazing, talented people you probably met as you had such an incredible career as a stuntman. Well, in Victoria, we have a very talented puppet maker. In fact, he worked with Jim Henson and the Muppets and Fraggle Rock. Paul Ballstein with that story. Muppets to Firebreathing Dragons on Mayne Island. We have it all here on Go Island. Charles, tell us about this really fabulous piece here.
This is a work in progress. He's my Firebreathing Dragon, and in 2014, my goal is to complete many of my projects, this being one of them.
I'm telling you, this man has so many talents. We're gonna go into his barn, his studio in just a moment and see some of the cool things he has designed and built there, from his race car to his climbing wall. But we have to take a very short break, but stay with us because when we come back, more with Charles here on Mayne Island. And Dan Kahn has a story on a 7-year-old artist who's living the dream. Welcome back to Go Island. We are on Mayne Island today, talking to stunt artist, director, woodworker, welder, Mayne Island, everything, Charles Andre today. You just are amazing. I have to tell you, I have to catch a ferry at some point today, but I want to stay here all day. You are a man of extraordinary talents. Now, you come into a studio and you look around and there's so much to see, but look at this, a climbing wall. I love it. What made you decide to build a climbing wall in here?
Well, it was one of my hobbies.
Yeah.
Climbing, I love it.
Of course, Stuntman.
And I'm recovering from spinal surgery.
Right.
And so part of my recovery is that I am going to climb Mount Baker.
Wow.
And so this is just a training process.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is your world, right? I mean, as a stuntman, you adrenaline junkie.
Always.
Love that.
Yeah.
Amazing. Now, when I look around, I feel like I'm in a stunt studio. Tell me about the motorcycle.
The motorcycle, that's basically storage right there.
Yeah.
But that bike is going to be in a film that I am working on, which I am potentially, I have many projects on the go.
Yes, which is the way it should be. That's the way you're wired. Tell us a little bit about Fast Tracks Film Corp.
Well, that's my company,
yeah,
which I formed back in '92, and I'm hoping to do children's action adventures.
Fun.
That's my goal.
Nice. And of course, things like the motorcycle will be part of that.
This is going to be the platform, which is going to be 70 feet high for my zip line.
Of course it is.
That's what this is.
Yeah.
Because you see, I can't fall down for a living anymore, so I have to still find an access or an outlet for my adrenaline addiction. Well, this is a '79 Trans Am, and I do Knox Mountain Hill Climb with this.
Firing up the race car.
You gotta love it.
Wow. I'm telling you, you have some fun on Mayne Island, Charles. Now, I'm excited to see the first Fast Tracks Film Corp children's action adventure directed by the one and only Charles Andre. When are you hoping to get something going?
Well, actually, I'm working right now on the Happy News Hour, which is because I always want, you know, there's too much dark out there. There's too much negativity.
And in your healing, with your back surgery, you felt that the positive attitude was a big part of your healing, didn't you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That was one of the things that helped carry me through.
Yeah.
Is I kept my sense of humor.
Yeah.
And I focused on the positive.
Yeah, yeah. So tell me about Happy News Hour.
Well, the Happy News Hour is going to be, I'm going to cruise around the Vancouver Island, Gulf Islands, Lower Mainland, looking for happy news stories. And then hopefully what we'll do is we'll have people donate small prizes, and then the best news story, the best happy news story will get a prize, and there'll be one for every week. And then there'll be a big prize at the end of the month.
We are going to head outside the studio and check out some cool things on the property here of Charles Andre's property here on Mayne Island in just a moment. But first, Dan Kahn met up with a 7-year-old artist who still loves what he's doing and has a beautiful story to tell. Thanks for reminding us, Dan Kahn, that you are never too young or too old to be doing what brings you alive, doing things that you love, having a career that brings you joy. And Charles Andre, who is a Maine resident, you've been living on Mayne Island for how many years?
Since '95.
95. We're up in his man cave right now on his beautiful piece of property. Now, you were a stuntman for many, many years, and we're looking at his photo album, which is just awesome. Okay, you're jumping from a building here.
Yes, that's actually Capilano College. That was a 70-foot high fall. We were out training that day, and we were letting Capilano College students shoot us. Actually, I'm really proud of this.
Okay.
I'm the first Canadian, we can't find anybody else who ever did it, to cartwheel over the finish line of the Ironman triathlon.
You're a crazy man. Well, we are gonna head outside of the man cave to find out what this very talented, clever, adrenaline junky guy has going on outside, and I get to play with an axe apparently. But we have to take a very short break, but stay with us. When we come back, Mayne Cuthbert is going to tell you what's happening with our libraries in 2014. Welcome back to Go Island, and welcome back to Mayne Island. We are hanging out with Charles Andre, one of the Mayne Island residents here, who's an artist, a musician, and an ex-stuntman who, actually you're not even an ex-stuntman because you're still doing stunts. You're just doing them differently now in your backyard and on Maine. But one of the things that you have in your yard here, which is so fun, is a little axe art, a little axe sport. Tell us about where you got these axes from.
Well, I am so fortunate. The late John Thomas, who is considered the best special effects coordinator in all of Canada, his widow, his wife, Betty Thomas, gave me his 2 beautiful throwing axes. And it's just one of my hobbies.
Because it's one of the things you probably had to do as a stuntman, right? Is sometimes arrows or axes and all that sort of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Well, he's going to teach me how to do this in just a moment. But first, we are going to head out to the world of the library, where in 2014, there are all sorts of new ways to enjoy the library. I have an axe to grind with you, Mayne Cuthbert. Actually, I don't. I just had to use that cliche because I have an axe in my hand, which is not something you often see. Now, we are here on Mayne Island. Tell us about the art of axe throwing, Charles.
Wow. Well, I really, you know, you just aim it at the target and throw. The idea is to let go just at the top of the target.
Okay.
You don't want to be at the very end of the shaft, and you also don't want to flick it.
No.
So you want to just let it go at the top. So it would look sort of like this.
Okay.
Oh, yeah! All right.
Well, I want to thank you so much for having us on your property here and just telling us about all the neat things you're up to. And I'm looking forward to happy news.
We haven't even got started yet.
I know. I'm coming back. I'm going to come back.
And we're going to go boating.
We're going to go boating. Absolutely. Well, thank you, Charles Andre, and thank you for all the things you have done, making movie magic over the last 25 years and creating such magic out here on Mayne Island. And I want to thank you for watching. Hey, if you live on Mayne Island and you have any story ideas for us, email us, Facebook us, tweet us, and let us know because we'd love to come back. Thanks for watching.
Go Island is brought to you by German Auto Import Network. Women's clothing provided by Tulip Noir. Casual designer fashions. Men's wardrobe by DG Bremner & Co. Menswear and accessories. Hair services provided by Salon J.